Okay, hello everybody. Today we're going to be going over phase 3, the attack phase, the fun part of the SOC-in-a-Box project. And in this phase, we're going to do password spraying, enumeration, scanning, recon, admin abuse, lateral movement, and privilege escalation. And without further ado, we're going to get into the scenario, which is an attacker has got his hands on a sticky note that fell out of the user John Doe's pocket. And John Doe unknowingly lost this sticky note, and this attacker was just lucky enough to find it. And then the attacker was able to go inside the company and gain access via an unmonitored Ethernet port. That's why port security is pretty important. And from there, the attacker then used the password to further enumerate and exploit the network. So first, we're going to get on our Kali box in our SOC project, and we're going to have to add a new network. And as you can see here, VMBR0 this is my outside network. This network is connected to the internet. The SOC-in-a-Box project is not connected to the internet. I know it goes against the rules of it, but you need to install the Kali tools. First, we're going to install a tool called NetExec. Well, first you want to do an update. Always do an update. Sudo apt update, whatever. Sudo apt install NetExec. So NetExec is a network service exploitation tool that helps automate assessing the security of large networks, specifically the enumeration of Active Directory. So now that we have that installed, the other main one we're going to use is Kerbrute, which is also an enumeration tool. I don't really think this is necessary for this, but I think it's just cool to show using two enumeration tools. But sudo apt install /y. I already have it here. And then I'm going to do, so first you have to do sudo apt install golang. I already did all this, so you're going to do git clone at this site, https //github.com ropnop kerbrute.git. Go ahead and run that. If that doesn't work, it's probably updated. Search that and see if that works. And then you're going to do cd kerbrute. It makes its own directory. And then you have to do go build. I did go build -o kerbrute for it to work. And then you can run kerbrute itself /root. See it right here. And after that, free to go. Okay, the next tool that we're going to download is Python 3 Impacket. Sudo apt install. So I already have it, but Impacket. So want to look at Impacket. It's pretty cool. It's a Python tool, and you have things like det view. I've never used that. RPC dump, secrets dump. This is the one we are going to be using. This will dump the secrets for passwords, and then there was one more I was gonna do. I think psexec is the other one, which is Python or code execution command. But anyway, so let's get into an attack now. So an attacker is always gonna do an Nmap scan. Nmap dash 4 F into 168.50.0/4, and this should be good. This should work. So every attacker is going to do a network scan, see what ports are open. Make sure to delete network so you don't scan yourself. And here we're looking for port 445. Right here, Microsoft. And we got a couple other all stuff related to whatever this IP address is, which this one has the most open ports. So this is going to be the basis of our attack. It also has the Microsoft DS. So we're only going to be focusing really on attacks based on Active Directory. And now that we know that port 4045 is open, we can then figure out which users are on the domain. So what I can do is, because I know that person's name is John Doe, I can create a user's guest list. I can guess possible usernames this guy would use. So let's do sudo nano users guess text. And let's do like John Doe, John Doe, J Doe. I mean, there's a ton of other passwords you can create through or think of, but I'm just gonna do 4. Decide to use the year as a username, especially if they have policies that make them change it. Control S, Control X, save that. Again, on it. That's awesome. Your enum. Okay. So we have our first hit. Tested 5 username. Go hit. .lab.local. That's cool. We found our first one using Kerbrute. And now what's next is we've already done Recon scanning. We then did user enumeration. Now we can move into password spraying, which is where NetExec comes in. But you can also use Kerbrute. I'm gonna log into an attempt window here, and I'm gonna do NetExec so yeah, you see this password also works for Jada. So this isn't password spraying yet. because we knew the password. But we can then do from here is get some usernames, and we're going to do the command, keep the same thing with the John Doe, and do -- user. This will hopefully show us value. Okay, yes. Here we go. We have administrator, guest, RB, J Doe, Bronny, DZIM, sec admin, test. We have access to the Active Directory. What we're gonna do is see if we can exploit any of these other usernames. DZIM, administrator, Bronny, test, guest. Then now we can do enumeration. So I want to show enumeration. This attack phase is a little wonky. First attack phase, give me a break. So NetExec SMB 2.168.50.2 dash users dot text dash p try password doc. Okay, as you can see here, password didn't work on any of these. Try password 23, password 1, password 23. This is only this is creating a ton of noise. Continue on success, password 1, 2. So as you can see, we have some password overlap here. User DZIM, Bronny, password. We're gonna try Yo Hotel 3. Look at that. We have actually 2 that worked. The test user and an administrator pwned. So now that we have that username, we can then use it to further abuse the network. We have an admin, we have 2 of these users. So like depending on the attack, the target, we can hop. Well, we have admin, which is like highest level. You can do anything, but yeah, so what we just performed is username enumeration. That was the user guest.txt. We guessed the usernames and we got one correctly. And then after getting that username, JDoe, we further exploited the privileges of that user by finding other users. And we found the administrative user and all these other ones. And then we used password spraying to guess passwords and use the password that we had before to write passwords on these accounts. And typically, what would happen in an actual attack is that the attacker is just going to take basic passwords that are reused, overused. Like you can go to a site like most 100 used passwords. This is the most common passwords, like simple stuff like password 123. And for however many guesses, they'll figure out how many guesses they're allowed to use on the network or on the Active Directory. Usually the lockout will be after 4 failures or after 3 failures. The account will be locked out. So this attacker is going to test a new password every single day for whatever the reset period is for lockout. Because after you have a successful login, lockout goes away. So say if it's like a worker at a company, the attacker is then gonna exploit it after they've logged in and then try to guess the passwords again. But anyway, enough yip yap about that. Next, we're going to be doing the admin abuse. So after discovering the admin credentials, I can then exploit the admin account. First, I'm going to attempt to log into the admin. So do that. And this is, it says SMB. And of course it worked. It works. And so then we're going to further use those credentials to abuse, Impacket, secrets dump. Hate that. Okay. And there you go. By using Impacket secrets dump, able to dump all the password hashes for the users. Local machines. So you can see we have secrets for this client, client 1, client 3, client 2, and these are all the secrets. Then we have it for this one, and it depends. So it's gonna be an NLKM. That's the encryption for this, and I can crack these. I can crack these secrets, but it'll take a while, and that's beyond the scope of this. But this is like activity you'd normally see an attacker initiate. So that dumps all the password hashes for the admin profile, and then might only be able to get to. Okay, so yeah, I'm only able to access the administrative account because it's the only one for 445. I believe there's a way to. I could technically do XP, H, credential account, but now I'm in the device. I can run like echo world. Hello world. Okay. Then I can run commands on this device that I'm now in. So now that I'm here, I could do anything like create a user, do net user hack 1 password 3. So now I just created a user. Don't know command line commands too well, but you get the point. So I just created a user, and this is going to be the initiation of persistence by number 1 creating a new user, and then I can also do things like, okay, let's cd, let's get out of here. So for the purpose of showing this on the command line, click 850.2 -u administrator, pretty much the same stuff. I can, for example, change the password for pass already passed. NetExec command completed successfully. I essentially just change the user's password, using pass one. Now say again, for the purpose of this, I logged into the actual computer. Stuff. Create a user again. User backdoor password 3. Executed swimmingly. So after changing the user password, I decided that I also wanted to add a backdoor into the system so I don't have to log into another user account or the admin account again. Even if the initial access is caught, it doesn't mean they will detect the backdoor. Typically, a good company will, but I mean, for persistence, for continuous use, getting into the system, we're going to create this backdoor, and we're not logging into the admin account, then we're not logging them out. If they change the password, we lose admin access. So now that I made this account, I'm gonna put them in the admin group. Local group in administrators back for okay, and now we see that this worked. And what I did essentially went over the attack, and we created a backdoor using NetExec. We found a username, Kerbrute. We dumped the secrets using Impacket, and we also executed code using esexec. Now that we went over the attack, to sum it up, we downloaded tools, used Nmap to Recon, got initial access to a user account, which was JDO, used enumeration to discover users and password spraying to gain access to other accounts. We got passwords like eSIM and Brawny, And we also got the secrets by abusing the admin credentials, do things like lateral movement throughout the devices in the network, as well as persistence by changing the password to a user count, such as DZIM, and creating another account with admin privileges. In the next video, I'm going to go over the detection of the events through the logs that took place and the incident response that would remediate the damages that were done during the attack. Thank you for watching.